basically, here's the scenario. A business has a new website design, but they have a new URL because they did like rebranding and everything. But they had the old URL domain up with the old business name. So they right now at this point have two websites at two different domains. The old website with the old name, they really want to get rid of and just forward to the new one. But they're getting lots of traffic from it and leads. So what should they do to prepare to then redirect this entire old domain?
Okay.
It's a little similar but different to a few weeks ago question.
Yeah. So we got to understand what redirects do and don't do.
Okay.
Right. Redirects will help Google index the new site because it'll say, oh, you were at this place, now you're at that place. It will de-index the old site. It'll help re-index the new site, but it doesn't preserve traffic.
Yes.
Right? So your traffic will drop as Google de-indexes the old, re-indexes the new. And by traffic dropping, by law of large numbers, theoretically, you might see fewer leads.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so then you have a business decision to make, not just an SEO decision.
Mm-hmm.
It might be worth that just to not have to maintain two different websites,
Mm-hmm.
right? The expense of having two different websites, the time it's going to take to maintain two different websites, it might be worth taking a little bit of a loss, presuming that the new website is better. But remember, you want to do the redirects, you want to set the redirects to the new page on the new site that is most relevant to the old page on the old site. So
okay.
Don't redirect everything to the home page.
And okay.
So let's say both sites have a page that says, plumbing services. And both sites have a page that has to do with water heater installation. So the water heater installation page on the old site should redirect to the water heater installation page on the new site, and the plumber page on the old site should redirect to the plumber page on the new site.
So we're talking again about this is what I believe they were intending to do, was to just take the URL and say redirect everything that hits this URL past it to the home page. So we're saying don't do that. Redirect every single URL for this website to what it corresponds to.
Right. So Google has basically said, if you just redirect everything to the home page, they're going to ignore the redirects.
It's going to do what? Say that again.
If Google said, if you just redirect everything to the home page, they're going to ignore those as far as passing page rank. People will still get to the home page,
okay,
right, who have the old URL, but it's not going to help as you redirect. Okay. So there's two ways you could do this. Number one, you have a host that only exists for the purpose of redirects, and you add a redirect list to that old host that has the old domain. And then you can send individual URLs to the new place.
Mm-hmm.
Or on a registrar level, you can say, send from this website to that website, but keep the last part of the URL in there. What that'll do is create a whole bunch of 404 errors on the new domain. Because oldwebsite.com/ourplumbers does not exist on newwebsite.com. The page is now plumbers.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll send traffic to /newplumbers, and in Search Console and maybe Google Analytics, you'll see the 404 error, and you'll say, oh, now I've got to set up a redirect from new plumbers, or whatever the URL might be. So that's the best case scenario, because you don't have to have two hosts.
Yeah, you said doing it in the registrar.
As a registrar level, but it's and I don't know the name of the setting, but it's a setting where you pass the parameters and the rest of the domain name to the new site. Because then it won't just redirect everything to the homepage. It'll redirect it to whatever the old URL was on the new domain.
Okay.
And now you can get ahead of it when you do the launch, to make sure the redirects are set up from the old site to the new site.
Mhm.
And that way, when it launches, they automatically go to the right page. But what
Okay.
you'll probably do is not be able to catch all those, even if you do your best. And so in
Yeah.
the future, you have to monitor your 404 errors and then find out, oh, we're getting a bunch of 404 errors to this page. I didn't know that page existed or at one point existed.
Yeah.
So I'm going to redirect
Okay.
that using a
Okay.
301, of course, to the new page on the new site.
Okay. And I'm wondering if, like, for the immediate future, maybe having them maybe change like something on the homepage to say, click here for our new site, and then wait a little while and then do the redirects.
In this case, probably the best thing to do is to do the domain registrar level, where you preserve the remainder of the URL in that redirect.
Okay.
And just make sure the domain registrar set to 301, because again, by default it's 302, and that's not going to pass PageRank.
Okay.
So we want to use a 301. We want to keep the remainder of the URL besides the homepage in that redirect. So it tries to redirect it on the new site with the old URL. And then we'll watch carefully for 404 errors on a regular basis. And as we discover them, we redirect them to the right page.
Okay.
Now, there's going to be some pages that are removed and no longer exist. And so you want to find, in that case, the best possible page.
Yeah.
And then if there's nothing else, just redirect it to the homepage.
Okay.
But you really want to take the time to redirect it to the most relevant page.
Got it. Okay.
That is the number one way newly designed websites lose traffic.
Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, right now both sites are up. But the old site, they actually did kind of a name change. So, some people may not necessarily know that they're the same business.
Yeah. Well, and this becomes another issue where you really do want to go through using a backlink tool to see all the old websites that are linking to the old URL and update them to the new URL.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be possible to do all of them. That's why you need the redirect. But that could be a really good opportunity to reestablish relationships with these other websites and say, hey, at one point you mentioned us. We have an article about us. Would you like an update?
Yeah.
Or, hey, friend, can we give you a new testimonial for your website and update the link to our new URL?
Okay.
But that you're going to use a backlink tool for that. You're going to have know where those backlinks are.
Okay. Okay. Whew.
You got it?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. All right, Tim, did you want to talk?